All right, let's get back to the Trump indictment. Why not? It is happening today. Former Trump campaign manager is Corey Lewandowski, and he's joining me now. Corey, how does the indictment play out in 2024? Newt Gingrich just told us he expects support for Trump to grow, especially when you look at Biden's record. What say you?
Stuart, both the public polling data and the private data, which we've now seen since this indictment came down last week, indicates that Donald Trump is continuing to grow his lead in the Republican primary field. Not only is he taking votes away from Ron DeSantis, but he's taking them away from Nikki Haley and unannounced candidates like Mike Pence. So as you look at what this indictment has done, it's done two things. Number one, it's grown the Republican field closer to him, meaning those rank and file individuals who support Donald Trump because they believe this is a politically motivated indictment. And number two, it has given him a massive influx of money, primarily from small dollar donors, 25% of which are first-time donors to the president. And he's been on the ballot now on two separate occasions. 25% of the donors that have given to him since this indictment are brand new. That's a very positive sign for Donald Trump.
Corey, I don't mean to downplay this, but he's raised $8 million since last Thursday. I gotta say, that doesn't seem like a whole lot of money to me. Maybe I'm too used to the $10 million contribution and $100 million here and there. $8 million ain't that much, is it?
Well, look, in the grand scheme, when you've got to raise $1 billion or $1.5 billion to run for president, it's not. But what we've seen over the course of the last 8 years in the Donald Trump world is that those small dollar donors are the ones that funnel the money into his campaign that have really fueled his rise. Donald Trump has never been that individual, particularly in the 2016 campaign when I was running it, where these major institutional donors would be giving him large sums. He has relied on those small dollar donors who make those consistent contributions on a monthly basis.
He got 74 million votes in 2020. Do you think all those 74 million people will vote for him again in 2024? Because some of them actually don't like him.
Well, I think you're right, Stuart, but you have to look at who's on the other side of the equation. And you have to ask yourself the simple question: are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? And by every economic indicator, the answer is no. And people may not like the way Donald Trump portrays some of his messaging, but they love his policies. And you've heard that now from multiple candidates in the race, that they say it's the same Donald Trump policies without the chaos. The American people want stability. They want the opportunity to have safe homes for their kids and safe schools for their children. They want to make sure we're not in these endless wars. And Donald Trump provided that for the 4 years he was in the White House. People are remembering just how important those 4 years were, and they're looking forward to someone who can do that again for them.
I ruffled a few feathers earlier this morning when I said Joe Biden will not run again in 2024. The Democrats won't let him because we've got the risk of Kamala Harris. He's got his age, and he's got a rotten record. Are you with me?
Look, if Joe Biden doesn't run, I think the Democrat nominee is actually Gavin Newsom. Yeah. I think he's more well-liked in the state of California. He's even more progressive than Kamala Harris. And we have seen Kamala Harris's failures as the vice president time and again, including going to the northern border, but never going to the southern border. So I think she would have a real fight on her hands for the Democratic nomination. I think Gavin Newsom is positioning himself, if Joe Biden doesn't run, to get into that fight. And it will be a Wild West campaign, which we would love to see on the Republican side.
I still don't think Biden runs again. I don't think the Democrats will let him, but that's my opinion. Corey, it was great to see you again after all these years. Good luck to you, man. See you soon.
Thank you, Stuart.
You got it.